So you see what kind of politically powerful, high-profile women to look out for. But what about your mom's worst friend, Deborah? You know this type of lady. All you want to do is relax from the plane, snuggle with Fleba McIntyre, your mom's 14-year-old incontinent beagle, and drink wine out of a glass that holds an entire bottle of alcohol. But you can't, because Deborah's there. She walks in without knocking, in her loud, colorful clothes and chunky necklaces, giving her the illusion of being a laid-back, fun-loving wine spritzer kind of gal. A go-with-the-flow kind of lady who doesn't mind if dinner plans change from fancy steakhouse to cheap hamburger joint. She's just there for the company. A woman just as comfortable in a Pier 1 as she is on an actual pier. But don't be fooled. She asked your mom for your flight information and hopped in her golf cart so she could be there the minute you arrive to get the scoop on how awful your life is since you ran away from Texas. Her thinly veiled questions. Now, how can you do improv at night and get a full night's rest for your job as a real estate receptionist? And bars are open till 4 a.m.? Certainly you've just heard that, right, Erin? You're not going to those places. They're just small little judgments she's serving before she lays it all on the table after dinner. Erin, you have got to get serious and find a nice, smart man before no one wants you anymore. Then she looks at your mom and says, Veronica, I've never had bread pudding this good. There are so many your mom's worst friend Deborahs out there. Suzanne Vanker is my favorite example of this kind of peeking over the hedges type of woman. I mentioned her briefly in the Me Too chapter, but let's dig in a little deeper. Suzanne is a politically correct, hating, cultural critic and writer, out there bravely challenging the cultural norms with her endless supply of FoxNews.com essays. Brave essays like, I'm so happy Trump's not a feminist. Are you weak if you make your man a sandwich? This is why real men don't marry feminists. Chivalry is dead because women killed it. Most men just want a woman who's nice. It isn't men who are toxic, it's women. I think there's a pattern here. Suzanne's lust for undermining women, probably from a safe little perch in her colonial-style home, with her golden retriever sound asleep on a buffalo check bed, a fire roaring, and a hot cocoa screensaver on her TV screen. Wrapped in a cashmere throw, filling the time she's not worrying about those Orvis winter socks arriving before hunting season. Your mom's worst friend Deborah went to college to write the next Cold Sassy Tree, but got sidetracked with her MS degree and ended up a kept woman mad at the loud women fighting for something greater than coordinating separates. Don't come to your mom's worst friend Deborah whining about your clinical depression. She'll tell you to work harder. It'll make you wonder why your mom keeps inviting her over in the first place. How is it possible to base a friendship off affinity for Robert Mondavi Merlot? They're bored, rich moms with an outlet for their sad anger. Moms like Susan Patton, a.k.a. Princeton Mom, who in 2013 wrote an open letter to the Daily Princetonian, her alma mater school newspaper, with advice for the daughters she never had. Advice to pick a man pronto, because they'll never be surrounded by such quality stock of cock ever again. Susan argues in her letter that, as freshman women, you have 4 classes of men to choose from. Every year, you lose the men in the senior class, and you become older than the class of incoming freshman men. So by the time you're a senior, you basically have only the men in your own class to choose from. And frankly, they now have 4 classes of women to choose from. Maybe you should have been a little nicer to these guys when you were a freshman. Translated into an equation, it looks like this. 4 classes of men divided by years in school plus the number of times you smiled equals potential husbands. Susan rode her wave of internet virality and followed up with a little Valentine's Day straight talk, focusing on the post-grad working professional woman who is not spending enough time investing in finding a husband. It starts out with my favorite opening of an essay ever. Another Valentine's Day. Another night spent ordering in sushi for one and mooning over Downton Abbey reruns. Smarten up, ladies. Oh my God, jokes on Susan. She just perfectly described my ideal evening. You know what I did this Valentine's Day? I gave my dog a full body massage and got wasted on hot toddies. Then I rewatched Chef's Table Season 3 while my husband went to the Korean spa. And I'm happily married. Oh my God. Your mom's worst friend Deborah's don't understand nuance at any level. They're grasping at the idea of traditional relationships because they're filled with bitterness, and it's not your responsibility to be the laundry basket for their misery towels and shame socks. Get a therapist, Deborah! And next time YMWFD tries to give you advice at your dad's luau-themed birthday party, put your hand on her shoulder and say, "I'm sorry your life is sad, Deborah." And then light a joint in front of her face and do not break eye contact.